Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and it is live order flow analysis forward-looking. Welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. It is the free education you get with Bookmap. It's open to anybody. And what we go through is Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. It's all based on our educational course, but it is forward-looking analysis, reading the current order flow in the market in Bookmap, and then giving some insight to where price may move next due to our analysis, so that you can apply what you've learned from the course. That's the whole goal here. There are many different ways to trade. We will cover a lot of them. Then we have live trading with JTrader for tomorrow, stocks at 10 a.m. And then Scott Bolsini, futures trader, at 10 a.m. on Thursday. So they will go through how they trade, and they will take live positions. It is in demo, so you know, and so you can learn from not just about order flow and how to analyze them in the live market, but then to trade as well from different traders. So it's a very complete education. We also have Tom B, who presents every day. It's live analysis as well on just after this webinar finishes. Okay, so about 11:30 a.m. East Coast time. All right, so let's jump. We're going to jump right into the markets here and look at the S&P E-mini. Just go through disclosures very quickly here, but it is important to understand what this is all about here. The general disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Any questions? We'll take a look here at the S&P E-mini. We can look at other instruments as well. Just off the bat here, what do you guys notice? What do you see in here that is happening on the bid on the way down? All right, now we saw this kind of activity last Friday. Very notable as the market continued to go down, and then due to that activity we were looking for a move back up later in the day, later in the session. It did happen. Price did continue to go down. It did happen though, and then we're looking for, typically when we see such large amounts of not only iceberg orders but just orders on the bid transacting, we look for typically like a multi-day swing high. So yesterday was an up day, and we were looking for some specific price levels to trade, and they did. We can go over the higher time frame. Let's just dig into the order flow right now, and we'll kind of cover a little bit of yesterday's as well. Good morning, Rob. All right, so yeah. Well, it was aggressive selling, McStockster, true. But the aggressive selling here is what are they selling into? And are they staying in the book, and are they getting filled? Who's taking the other side of the trade? This is, typically when you look at your candlestick charts or volume profile or whatever, it's just volume. It's just transactions that you're looking at. You're not looking at the other side of the trade. And that's really it's missing. Like you can see it on the chart now. It's just dark here. There's nothing here. So you don't know what they're trading into and what that condition is. Here, when we turn the heat map on, now we know. Here they got filled. In here they got filled. Here they got filled for sure. Here they just got filled, and it looks like they're just about to trade into 3,900, the figure here. So we're watching very closely this. We're also looking at icebergs as well. These are hidden orders. They're not in the order book. Where are they getting filled? Well, here's 232 right here. Okay, so let's just zoom into this area because it's pretty interesting. They are front running this high liquidity here. In fact, they're front running maybe even themselves. Who knows? It looks like they got filled here as well though, or the one tick below here at 39.03. Okay, here this iceberg kicked off here. And it's not a big one, but I just want to show this to understand the condition of what's going on in here and how larger players, you know, kind of understand some of their behavior and what they're doing. So, for example, they are front running here, but not showing in the order book. They're using a hidden order or an iceberg order, and they're getting filled in here, and it was fully executed, okay, as you can see, for 232 contracts right here. Right, and then, oh, I'm sorry, right up above it here, one tick. Let's just take a look here. Yeah, so they got filled one tick above it here, and then there's high liquidity underneath here at this 03 level. It also transacted. Right, so a lot of liquidity just got filled in here, hidden liquidity as well as just liquidity that's in the order book. Right, and we saw a nice little bounce out of that area. But that doesn't mean, like, you know, we're looking for a huge bounce the other way. I mean, it's a small iceberg, but what we're noting here is beautiful. Look at that. Look at this ignition algo in here. Now, I'm not going to call that actually ignition algo. It looks like this guy is well, let's see if did he pull or did he trade? He looks like he traded here. So we'll cover that in just a minute here, but seeing this kind of activity in here gives a lot of insight to how the others are playing their hands, like in a card game or something. Just starting to understand, like, okay, I saw that sleight of hand in here. This is like it right here with these icebergs, one tick above high liquidity and getting filled in there. All right, so here we have a move down into high liquidity all the way down, and it has not filled the high liquidity here at 39,000 or 3,900, but I'm looking for it though. It looks like we found a few buyers in here at the moment. However, let's look at structure. Did we break the structure here? No. So looking for a retest back down into 3,900 here. Okay, and probably through it as well. There it is. There's the move, and probably through it. Lots of stops triggered below 3,900. Okay, 186. Now we're gonna kind of watch this here. Now I don't have any higher time frame context at the moment. I'm just watching what I have here in Bookmap. So we'll have to zoom out or look at the candlestick chart. Obviously, we've been looking at this level here for a while at 3,900. But I want to see if we reject down here, come back up above 3,900, and then see a lot of buying, right? Then that would be a false breakdown and a big one here. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen here. It looks like they're going to continue. And we look for a couple different things for that continuation in this move. One is high volume, and the other is price movement at the same moment, which means basically that price is moving away from a previous consolidation period here. Okay, now we have to be a little careful on this one here. It's moved a lot already. So I'd look for, when we see these kinds of point moves. Now we have some volatility in here, but when we see these kinds of point moves, like this is almost it's like 6 or 7 points here, we usually see more exploration to the downside here. So still looking for that. Here they are, and let's see if they can push it down into 38.90. Okay, so we had some home sales data. All right. Well, web trader, maybe they're building a position, take it longer. Let's zoom out. Let's look at our higher time frame levels in context. Okay, the 10-year is also going down. All right, thank you. Good stuff. Yeah, watch those correlations. Watch your US dollar, or if you don't have DXY, which can be expensive because it's on the ICE exchange. You can also look at the euro dollar, which is like, I don't know, 60% of it, right? Something like that. And dollar yen in your currency futures. All right, so yeah, we're still continuing lower. Okay, that's the primary scenario here because of the large move here and large volume. So, but we're watching it. We're noticing these areas here of high liquidity getting filled, and that's just one thing to just note right now. The next thing to look at here. So this, as a checklist, maybe you want to, kind of compose one. And your checklist, one thing would be to just note this to begin with. Who's taking the other side of the trade? Are they getting filled? And what's the context of that? Now we look at price structure, higher highs or lower highs and lower lows, etc. So start to understand the market structure. And so far, you can see even on this pullback here that we just made an equal high here. Well, maybe they'll come up and trade above it. If they do, then I'm looking for right back to the figure here at 3,900. Yeah, but I don't see it so far. If we see enough sellers down here at 94, I'm looking for the follow through down to 92 and then at 90 here. So here they come, looking for the continuation here. Structure is still it's not telling us anything yet. Okay. In fact, this is your low volume pullback. Even with this buy volume in here, it's still a low volume pullback. Compared to all of this in here. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna let's take a look back here at the bigger picture. It's really important to understand the bigger picture, time frame, and levels and market structure. So here's the daily here on the right side, and you can see here's yesterday's activity here, and then here's today's. Now we're already down below yesterday's swing low. All right, so yeah, and this is we've already kind of filled the gap here as well. This is a full gap fill, and we're still below it here. Okay, so here it is on the 15. This is the hourly. This is the 15-minute here, yeah. I mean, boy, like I'm not really sure. Like not really sure. I know that this is some good selling. So basically, I'd be looking for the seller and the momentum to continue. And then look for this other level. The next level would be down here somewhere. It's a range, between maybe 84 and 74 down here. I really like 74. It's a swing. We see another candle in here on the 15-minute. So we'll see if we can get some momentum back down into that area and then maybe get a bounce back up. We can also see the gap here from the morning. But I don't see enough buyers to come in yet to move this back up. If we do get the buyers to come back in, I'd be looking for it to come back to 96 or so. Or I'm sorry, 06, 39.06. Somewhere around there, 05, 06, and then maybe continuation to the downside. So we don't know. We're looking at these levels in here, and we're just kind of noting some of these important levels. Now what we want to look at is the order flow around those levels. Is there any questions on these levels in here on the higher time frame? Okay, what we're looking at here, very, very simple levels. We're just looking at wicks, basically, where there was buying and selling, and we're looking at the reaction, the context in those areas in here. So, for example, you see the move up here. And then look at the context. All right, we found a lot of sellers. They moved it right back down to the middle of the range, paused, and then right back down, broke the range and continued. Okay? And that's you look at the big red candles in here, and that's just reading the order flow on these candles and starting to understand that context in here. Okay, so we're just very, very simple stuff. Looking at ranges in here, looking at patterns. This is a continuation pattern and a lot of chop in here, a lot of back and forth. Is making slightly higher highs in here, and then it broke, and then it came right back up. Now this was Friday, and we were watching this on the way down. And then we were looking for the move back up to 3,900 here, and we got that. And then we were looking yesterday for this move higher. We were looking for the move up into this area here. It was around 75, above this swing up here, right? That's what we were targeting, and we knew there was liquidity up there as well. So we matched this higher time frame in this swing here with the liquidity in Bookmap, and that's what we were looking for. And we got up there yesterday a bunch of times, as you can see. And look at the wicked move over the overnight and the cash open. All of this up here is going to be trapped basically, and now we're seeing the puke here to the downside. I mean, you can describe it that way, but anyway, very, very simple stuff in here. We're not looking at anything very complex, just understanding context of price and structure. Does this make sense to you guys? Do you want me to spend some more time on understanding some of these candlestick charts in here? Just because we're using basically, or at least I am covering basically the same ideas in Bookmap on very low time frames, and then pulling that up into these much higher time frames as well. Okay, so here is we were looking for that low volume pullback. Okay, we just left off here. Boy, I don't know how long ago. Let's take a look. Makes sense. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think I called this a low volume pullback. Yeah, I did. Okay, so because like even in here, like we didn't break structure. See how the structure held? In fact, it made lower highs and didn't really make lower lows. Here it made kind of a little bit higher, but it's kind of equal. And then here's the follow through to the downside. Okay, and that's what our primary scenario is here. And why was it based on that? Yeah, MC Loco, thank you. I really appreciate that. And WebTrader, I'm so bad about understanding these higher time frame candles. It's really just we're just going over order flow and applying this logic or understanding and context into the candlestick chart, and that's it. And understanding ranges as well. We just can't see. We just don't have much insight in the candlestick charts. We don't know where the volume traded within that bar. We don't know what the order book looked like, etc. So anyway, the primary scenario here was continuation to the downside. That's what we're getting, and we look for this to continue until we see something different. Okay, and what would look different what would be, okay, so one of the things we noted when we first started the webinar is we noted a lot of liquidity getting filled on the downward move here. Okay, and let's see our 06 area, it's about here. Okay, and we noted the move. This was a pretty powerful move here, and we noted that the volume is pretty strong as well. Okay, and the structure, the next thing to take a look at is the structure, and within that structure, the volume, and also the context of the order book. Now, this is in hindsight here, but I didn't cover this part here on the liquidity heat map, but let's just go through the checklist here. First, we just noted that they're getting filled. All right, great, but there still seems to be more selling pressure by the aggressor here, and this was very typical with the strong volume and also a strong move. So they're moving it away. They're moving the market. This market is marking down. Okay, if you're looking at Wyckoff, a lot of you guys look at Wyckoff. just to kind of get a feel for it. And so we know they're getting filled. However, we know this is a strong move, and we know that it's the point move is strong. So in this consolidation period in here, you guys can see the pullbacks in here, and you can see the buy volume in here as well in these pullbacks. Now look at the buy volume compared to the sell volume. Okay, first off, here's the big sell volume, and it's consistent and thorough all the way down with a strong point move. This is what we look for a move. Okay, note this volume down here. Okay, so let's just in fact, yeah, let's just kind of hide. If just don't look at this volume here, look at this little range in here, and then look at this volume here. Okay, now what is this volume like in here? Well, first off, the point move isn't so strong. And secondly, yeah, the volume is not too bad in terms of consistency. You know, here's one, two, big three dots here. But you can see we came back up and retested this area, and see how buyers can come in on the other side here and try to lift it and test the other side of the range here. So this is where we can find, we saw this many times yesterday on the up move. We'd see volume like this, and then on the other side they come back into the range and then move it and continue to trend. So you know, this is we have to be kind of careful of in here. We're not really sure about the continuation until we see more of a point move away, and then trade back down into like 90 here. So it went back and forth in here, and then finally we see sellers, lower highs. Look at the volume up here, not much buying up here. Our selling coming in, not much buying again up here. Our selling coming in. Here's where we're looking for the break and a nice follow through to the downside. Okay, so again, looking at the volume within the structure, and then the other thing to note, okay, is the third thing and final thing here, is to look at the offer and the bid. But look at how they're offering at a lower level here, and no one's tangling with these offers up here, the supply. So we get the follow through here to the downside. Okay, now look at this in here. See how this they tangled with in here, and look how we're breaking structure now. Okay, at 80 here. Right, and here we see the buyers coming in. Okay, so they broke this small structure and they tested back up into here, and we see even more buyers, and they're starting to break this structure here. This is looking great to come back up to here. Okay, or right here, I like very much 92. Okay, still looking for it then. A move back to 92 here. All right, look at the buying coming in here. All right, so yeah, we can take a look at this in here, and let me get to some of these questions in here. Good morning, Corwin. Yeah, maybe we can take a look at NQ in a bit. Robert, do I make my entries based on the 1 minute chart or higher time frame? Oh, I mean, it really doesn't. It's not so much the time frame. It's more about the condition of the order flow that I'm looking at. So yeah, that's really kind of what matters for me. And sometimes on a higher time frame, it looks just awesome. And it just doesn't happen as often. So what we do in these demos, in these webinars here in our analysis, we're trying to look at as many examples as we can to get the points across. Okay, so like right here, I'm looking for these sellers to try to hit down into 80 right now. Okay, and this is where this move began here. Earlier I was looking for 92, but you can see sellers came in, and there's more selling here. So I'm looking for them to test 90 or 80 here. Okay, and they're just about there. Okay, so look at the structure here though too. And this is where those buyers came in. So this is kind of a bit of a battleground here at 80. Jana, we don't know if it's profit taking or not. I mean, you can kind of assume sometimes like a low volume pullback is more like profit taking. But we don't need to know. We just need to know about the transactions and the relationship of price to those transactions. Okay, so we traded into 80, a little bit of a bounce. Let's see the retest here. So now the retest here, what if we don't get money? And we're not, right? I'm looking for buyers to try to trade it back. Let's see if they can trade it back to the 83 here. And then if we get enough buyers at 83, looking for 85. See how we had very little selling down here, right? And we're starting to get some buying up here. Now they haven't broken the structure yet, right? So we're not out of the woods yet. But if we get our buyers up here, the likelihood of them breaking the structure is much higher. And it's happening now. It's just happening very, very quickly. Okay, so it's hard to kind of position yourself for that. But this is what we were kind of looking for, this scenario here. It still hasn't traded 85, which is funny. I'm still looking for 85 to transact. There it goes. Okay, so there's our buyers. All right, now how did I know that? Okay, now this happened very quickly. As you can see, it was a very, very quick move here and an iceberg order as well as a stop run here. But let's just go over it. Okay, so we're looking for a few different things in here. We move down to 80. This is where they broke the structure on the smaller time frame here at 80, as you can see right here. We came down. We were looking for the move into 80. And we got that here, and they traded at 80. This liquidity here transacted, and then we bounced up. Okay, nothing shaken so far. Here's our retest here. This is before that move happened. Where are the sellers now? Well, we would assume that there would be more selling in here. It's a low volume pullback. We're looking for the retest back down here. We're looking for more sellers, and we're looking for continuation. Well, there weren't any sellers. So we rotate back up, and we start to find a little bit of buying in here. Okay, rotates back down again. Now, this happens a lot in the S&P, these rotations. And it kind of retests areas and, retest the other side, retest back, etc. And now we're looking for our buyers potentially to come in here and then move it up into top of the range here in 85. Okay, and they did. Okay, so it was actually easier than real time than looking at it in hindsight, to be honest. Right, we had an inkling that something was going on in here due to this right here, this move right here, the retest. Where are the sellers? Oh, we're starting to find buyers here instead. That's not really what we're looking for if we're looking for continuation. So if we get more buyers up here, and we didn't on that rotation, and we're looking again though up here at 83, if we get more buyers up here, they're likely to then trade up to 85, okay, and maybe even 90. Okay, we get to 90. We didn't quite get to 90. No, we did. We just got to 90 now. Okay, any questions on that read and putting these pieces together and understanding the price action within here and the order flow? No. Well, I've seen people plug in options in here, Carolina. They're so thin though, and the spreads are usually quite wide, at least from the examples I've seen, that it doesn't really help. So the underlying though is going to help you a lot with the order flow in Bookmap, a lot. You might also be interested in looking into some of our partners like Spot Gamma, Brent Kachuba over there at Spot Gamma. Okay, they have some excellent products and do some excellent work over there. Can I set draw levels to match your chart? Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you mean, but I can draw on the chart here using the drawing tools here in Bookmap. Okay, I use them all the time. Like we're looking, that's why we're looking for this 80 level right in here. And let me see if I'm sorry if I missed some questions back up above. Okay, thank you for the compliment here. Trying to sponge up and soak up as much as you can. Yeah, well, we're here every day, so you know, lean on us here for and ask questions. Come to our Discord chat room. There's a lot of really great traders in there, and they can answer questions for you as well. And then don't forget Tom B later in the afternoon, and you know, he's going to go through a lot of things in tremendous detail. Okay, and that's volume profile. Now that's his way of trading, and just to understand that that's volume profile. Like I'm going over something it's maybe it sounds more complex, but it's not. It's really, I try to make it very simple, very basic, of just talking about market structure. And probably the most basic way to go over market structure is probably closer to something like Wyckoff, about understanding consolidations, markups, or distributions, and markups and accumulations and markdowns. I mean, I don't know. I use all these terms. Basically, we're looking at the order flow around certain areas where price seems to be pretty happy and it trades, and then something happens. Like here, something happened, right? What happened? We found buyers come in here, and they lifted this really quickly, and we retested back down to where those buyers initiated. And then we saw a retest back down here. So this was an important level here at 80. We noted it, and we noted that this was kind of a little bit of a battleground. And that's when we saw the insight. It was here. Okay, that there was no selling down here, and that was odd. This view looks a little bit better. You can see a little bit of buying here, and they did break a small structure here. So maybe that was a detail I left out. But it was really, and that counts. That counts. There's buying kind of back up above this area here. The retest back down here, there's very little selling. And we rotate back up and find a little more buying. So that's when we're starting to like, okay, if we can get back up here and find our buyers, we're looking for 85. And boy, they came in, and then after seeing this kind of strong move in here, you'd be looking at some of the swings, but also some of the liquidity, okay, to reduce some risk or take some profit, or just see, and that's trade management, but just to see where price might go next. And that's what these webinars are all about, by reading the order flow and then understanding the order flow, and then where price might go next. And it's pretty simple. This is not complex. It's just by understanding the condition of the orders in these areas here, not just the transactions and the transacted orders, but the order book. All right, so let's see here. Okay, here we got our sellers coming right back in. All right, so let's see if we can get this in real time here. So good selling there on the second leg. I'm looking for them to drop it back down to 80 here. Okay, lower highs. More selling down here, more selling on the second leg. So looking for continuation now. This is very different than what we saw over here. Now, we don't know. I mean, so what if buyers come in hand over fist above like 86 right here? Well, then we'll probably get a squeeze up into like 94 or so. right? But the primary scenario right now is we're looking for continuation into 80 here. Now, see how the buyers are actually doing that. See how they're testing this. They're pushing it up here. Can we find some stops? Are people like can we shake some people out? Or are people compelled to buy, basically forced to buy up in these areas? And the market probes and tests those areas here, and is starting to find them now. Okay, so this is our secondary scenario here, and it traded up into here. We should see some stops triggered. Nothing significant yet, which is funny. So it has to probe higher to get stops. So it has to come up to 94. Okay, liquidity up here at 94, or above some of these other swings in here and get some stops. It still hasn't found them. Okay, so that was tricky in here. We noted the two different conditions, though, even before it panned out here. It's like primary scenario is looking for 80 in here. I would say the same thing. And then it noted, and then we saw this, and I was like, okay, well, it still looks pretty good here. Hit down to the low here, 83 again, and then 80. And then, we see the buyers come back in here after this move. And then, yeah, looking for tops of the range here. And then this was our secondary scenario. Okay, back up into these areas here. I'm surprised it did not come back up into 94. So we can look at the market structure in here as well. And what do we gain from that? It's a little convoluted. It traded up to this swing here. It didn't go above it, though. Okay, so if we come back down here and we get our sellers here, okay, this is looking great for 80, and it's probably going to go fly right through it. We're right down to it, because we're getting our sellers down here now and looking for the continuation. Tricky. Even this is a second leg here, and you can see there was no selling on it. So yeah, so buyers still fighting it here. So anyway, this is why we go through these multiple scenarios here, and this didn't play out. It should have, right in here. It looked really good. We have a kind of strong move here and very consistent buying or selling, I'm sorry, and then retesting back down here. You can get the insight actually here. There's no selling here. We get some buying here, but here they can take it through, and they didn't. We come back up in here, just like our previous secondary scenario, just when we're looking for 94. And then we get the buying up here. Now they're testing back up to top of the range here at 87. Okay? And they have the potential now, too, to come back up to top of the range, and then finally to our 90. Well, yeah, let's just call it 92 to 94. I'd love to see it trade up to 94, but I don't know if we're going to get that. Okay, we got a nice stop run in here too. Oh yeah, Robert, I make my entries and exits based on the heat map. Yeah, tremendously. Okay, we're back down here. Not seeing a lot of sellers. And this is kind of tricky. You know, they're selling. They're kind of nibbling away here, but we could get a quick snap back to 85 here. And you know, when it doesn't look as clear, you know, I don't just kind of stay away from you know, looking for. It's just less likely that we're going to get the follow through. So I kind of like to stay away from it until I get that clarity in here. Okay, the clarity in the order flow should go along with your levels of interest. And that's where, you know, you can build a nice edge. A simple way to kind of demo that, I think, might be with the candlesticks. We can look at, is this a 1 minute? Yeah, so 1 minute candlestick chart. All right, so here's our retest. Okay, now if I get sellers down here based on these two candles here, if I get sellers down here, I'm looking for the follow through. Looking for sellers right here at 82, and I'm not getting them. So hands off. Now, if I get the sellers down here at 82, then I'm looking for them to trade 80 and then maybe below. Okay, and that would be based off of this big red candle here, and they're selling. And then this is the retest here. I'm looking for the retest back here, and I'm looking for sellers. That scenario didn't unfold. So we can see what happened. Buyers came back in above here, and now they traded back up into some of these wicks in previous highs up here. Okay, so this has been, you know, we've seen is more of our kind of secondary scenario playing out more the last 2 or 3 or 4 times. All right, so now big rejection above. Now on the candlesticks only, let's just kind of dim the heat map a little bit. On the candlesticks only up here, in this little range in here, and you can see it's actually a bigger range, and that's market structure. And in fact, if we can get more buyers up here in the top of this range up here, then we're looking for back to 94.95. All right, so now it seems to be rejecting. Now I'm looking actually kind of away from the candles a little bit here. I'd be looking for selling here at 87 to try to push through. And I know that's point of control because our blue line is there, which can mark up the point of control. And it's still holding. All right, so your candlestick pattern, basically what you'd be looking for then is you're looking for sellers down here, right? Here at 86. If you get the sellers down here at 86, we should get the push down to the lower candles here around 81.5 or so. Here they are. Okay, so sellers now should be able to push back down. It rejected up here. It tried a few times. It retested, and it still didn't find enough buyers. So we're looking for sellers to retest this low or these swings down here. Okay, now we're looking at the volume in here, and the volume looks pretty decent. Now, what about the heat map? What are we getting from the heat map in here? Not much right now, to be honest. Here's a little bit of liquidity up here at 89.25, but it's really more about the target down here at 82 and 80. Okay, now look at our volume in here right now. If we get looking for it here at 84, and then the push to 82 and 80. But that's it right now. This in here, let's just cover it. This in here is not good. We're not getting much insight out of any of this down at our level of interest. We're just not getting, this looks pretty good selling here. Okay, but in here, this is, there's no kind of commitment here from the sell side or buy side. And the heat map's not helping us out either. Okay, so we don't have insight at our level. So we do nothing. Okay, now the follow through was down to 82. Okay, but that's okay. And still looking for 80. Okay, now 80, let's go over that in terms of candles. Down here, this is where we saw the move to the upside. So this is where the buyers were down in here. And these are the wicks in here. That's why our primary target would be right around this kind of 81.5, 82 area here. Okay, not 80, but the follow through should be down to 80. But we just noted we want to get down and retest, just retest. We're trading, or not trading. It's not a trade recommendation. We're looking at these areas in here, and we're looking to test and probe it, and they did. Okay, and then you can see the buyers come right back in, test the top of these wicks up here. All right, now this whole thing has just turned into a big kind of consolidation mess in here. Okay, here comes another big red candle. Do we get our sellers down here? Let's take a look. No. Another rotation. Do we get some? There they are. There's some sellers. Okay, let's get into 80, and let's see if they can now move it away from 80 and continuation now. I think we got enough selling in here now. Here they come. Okay, now let's take a look at the heat map though too. So 80 just transacted. Look at the selling. See the difference here? We're looking for a continuation at this point now. We're looking for this to drive lower into areas of lower liquidity, 75 and maybe 70 here. Now, let's just take a breath though, and take a step back. Okay, so anyway, first off, any questions on that? Okay, and see the distinction here. And after looking at this whole mess in here and all this back and forth in here, now we had something to kind of, hang our hats on and look for the primary scenario to trade, or follow through, I should say. Okay, back down into 75 and then maybe 70. But what we want to do now is take because we're down at lows of the day here, and these wicks down in these candles down here. But this is enough selling to explore further. So we're looking for continuation and probe 38.70 down here. Okay, to trade down to where the buyers are on the bid down here. Okay, so good that we didn't kind of veer our head away for a moment, and we saw that, and we're looking for the continuation at that point. Okay, strong selling in here. It's not really moving the mark. I mean, the move is good. It's just kind of taking its time. It's not a really quick move, but that's okay. The move is strong, and the volume is strong. So we're still looking for the continuation here. Now it's moved from, well, the move really started up here around 82 down to 75. That's plenty of points and plenty of strong sell volume in here. So we're going to get our pullbacks, and then still looking though for more selling on this. Let's see if we get it on our second leg here, and then the continuation. All right, but I want to take a breather here. I want to step back here and cover the higher time frame here. Okay, so this is what we were looking at earlier, and we noted it that this is like we're kind of down into these wicks down in here, that we kind of talked about as a range, like 80 to like 74 or so. And that's where we are right now. And this wick here on this 15-minute right here, if you can see it. Okay, I know that's might be hard on the eyes. So we're just testing it now. So we're around this kind of 72-ish level, and just testing that now. All right, so yeah, I would look for probably some buying, at least some profit taking. So maybe we're going to kind of bounce around a little bit in here, and then get continuation. The next level would be on this hourly chart. I like it. It would be down here around 60 and this swing here. And then let's look at this cluster in here. Okay, same ideas as we were just looking at in terms of candlesticks. See the cluster in here and see the breakout. So here's where that cluster is, in this little area here. And the swing of that is around here, 42. Okay, and we said also this wick here, so that's around 55. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, based off the 15-minute chart, I would like to see the move down here into about 40, 42, somewhere around there. Okay, but I also would, based on the hourly chart in here, since there were transactions down here and a nice, very strong buy move to the upside here, I would look for some sort of reaction probably around 55 as well. Okay, just based off of the swing, and then look at the context, the reaction. Same down here. Here's this cluster, and then look at the reaction. So buyers, maybe a little bit higher, maybe 45, 47, somewhere in here. Anyway, so let's go back. Let's take a look at our chart here in Bookmap. Yeah, a little bit of buying. Okay, you can see the candles here beautifully. Yeah, back up to 80. That's not bad. Okay, we can go over this again here. I'm still looking for a fade. The first test would likely be a fade here, and then maybe we'll kind of bounce around in here for a bit. But I'm not looking for it to come back up into the range right now. I'm looking for this to be sellers to move it away. Okay, but this made sense in here. This move back up to 80, and here's why. Sellers, big red candle. Sellers, smaller red candle, but they're selling still. Wicks on both sides in here. We did move lower into 73 liquidity here. And then we start to kind of turn around, and we start to see buyers at kind of top of this range, little range in here, right in here. We retest, and we don't make a lower low here, and then we start to see buyers up here. So looking for a push, looking for a stop run, looking for the move back up to about 80 in here, and that's about it for now. And then this could be your low volume pullback in here, techie girl. And then looking for sellers, see if we can get more sellers back in here again to continue lower. And now this isn't actually, sorry, I'm calling out techie girl here. It's actually not bad on the buy side. It's not really a great low volume pullback here at all. There's some buying in here for real. I mean, they're here. You can see them in the dots and the bars here. I'm still looking for them to get upended though here with selling and then continuation here. That would still be the primary scenario, looking for that selling, and we got to get it. We got to get it right now. Not buying, we're looking for selling here. And we're not looking for, there they are. All right, so now we want to see them move it past 73, lows of the day, back down to 70, or to explore 70 and hit this liquidity down here. Okay, not a lot of selling in here, right? Not a lot of selling in here. So it's still not really too clear. Okay, let's see if we get our selling here. And no. Okay, sellers, let's see it. Got some buyers on the hook here. Now if we can just push it a little bit more. All right, sellers, right here, we're looking for them. So basically, it's not much of a move here, but this is where we're looking for them. And they can't do it. They're not showing up. Okay, all right, let's see another retest. Let's see if we can retest back down here at 73 3/4. See how that kept you out of the trade? Okay, did we break structure up here? Now we have buying up here. That's not what we're looking for, but we didn't break structure. Here's the retest. Iceberg there. Let's see it. Now, if we get our buyers back up here at 76 here, 76.5, then likely nice move back up into 79 80. Yeah, it looks like that's what's going to happen here, and a squeeze up to 80, 79 80. Okay, well, we gave it a shot. We were looking for it. We knew what we're looking for, and it didn't show. Then we're looking for buyers and then the possible squeeze. They started to buy back up here, and we were looking for 79 80 here. Okay, back up to this wick. And what's up at this wick here? There's buyers up here. Okay, well, we made it to 79. That's it, though. I still want to see them trade into this liquidity up here. Okay, here comes the bid. Look at the bid, and we're finding buyers. So still looking for the squeeze higher up into, maybe now we can get to 82 potentially. Here we have nice context. See, look at the bid, look at the buyers, and look at them starting to pull on the offer a bit when it comes up here. So looking for the move higher. I like 82. Okay, these are quick moves, and this is tricky kind of stuff today. Yesterday, I think, was a lot easier. More of a grind yesterday, or we're looking for that move higher. This is just getting upended one after another. We're looking for it. We're looking for it. Nope. Buyers. Okay. Looking for the squeeze. 80, 82. And looks like they're even going to go for 80, 84, 85 up here. Now, same things, though, can apply on higher time frames. Doesn't matter. In fact, if this rejects up here and we get sellers back down below here at around 79, then we'd be looking for that continuation move that we talked about. So this would be a false breakout in this smaller range. This is not a low volume pullback in here, even though this is the strong selling that we were looking for earlier. There's strong buying on the other side in here. What we're looking at a low volume pullback would be like maybe price would come back up into these areas here, but on very, very low volume here. But this is pretty strong buy volume. Okay, so anyway, I'll get to some of the questions here. But looking at some of these areas in here, again, looking at the order flow, and in this case, we're going through the candle example on the 1 minute chart. It doesn't matter, though. It can be a 15-minute candle, as in an hourly candle or a daily candle like we're doing in here. Same ideas, right? So, you know, we can even see we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce off of this little area in here. Okay, there's two candles in here. I know this wick in here and then this wick over here. It makes sense. That was our kind of our target, at least. Now we want to see the order flow around our level here. Okay, around the 73, 74, 73. And so far, yeah, it looks like it wants to trade higher here, back up into this liquidity here, 70 or 85, 84, 85 still. And there we go. There's our move. All right, let me get to some questions in here. Hold on. Boy, I can't see a timestamp, Corwin. I'm not really sure when you were talking about something there. But what this is the play right here, right now. Wait for view app. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, again, I think it just comes down to these scenarios here. Like, we're looking for a low volume. We're looking for continuation down here, and we didn't get it. And we're starting to note, wow, this isn't what we're looking for here. And then we're looking for this kind of move. Or down here, we're looking for our sellers. We just didn't get it. We got the buyers in here. We're looking for the squeeze, and then we're looking for the move back up into liquidity here at 80, and then 80 or 82, and then 85 here, 84, 85. Okay, and that's all in the past right now. Still looking for them to try to get back up in here into 90. Okay, because this is really a key level up here for this action in here is 90. Mike, I think look at your levels and price action, and then context of the liquidity around that level. Just because there's liquidity there, and longer term liquidity, I mean, typically, okay, just typically acts as kind of a target. The market knows that's where there's like buyers or sellers. There's supply and demand, and the market needs that in order to transact. So that longer term liquidity is, the market is seeking buyers and sellers. Geo Hero, yeah, we haven't gone over too much about trade management or entries and exits in here. I mean, that is and we went through it yesterday, and we'll go through it today too. It's a little trickier today, but these are at least for me, it would be very low time frames that I would be looking to trade this, because we're not getting what we're looking for. So I'm just looking for quick scalps basically, and it's just because of this webinar here. I mean, higher time frame stuff, I mean, if you were trading on a much higher time frame, you'd probably still be in this, and you'd be looking for continuation down into some of these lower levels. You might have taken some off here around 73, because you had your reasons for it on the higher time frame on this 15-minute chart. On the hourly chart, you're still looking for maybe this lower cluster here, or 15-minute chart, 42, and then also this area here around 56 or so. Right, so that's a pretty big range, 42 to 56, but somewhere back down into that area here, because these on the hourly chart, look at it. I mean, these are, and we gapped, so we'd still be looking for a continuation into those levels. Just based on the order flow in these, kind of in air quotes, I guess, order flow within the candles here. Okay, and then we're taking those same ideas though in this 1 minute candle here. Okay, so now let's just see this. This is going to be interesting. So here's an equal candle. Now it made a lower low here, as you can see. Uh, but you know, we're looking for buyers up here into 90. Are we getting them? Starting to a little bit. Yeah, we should probably get the move to 90. Yeah, here we go. And now we just traded up here to 89. And some strong buying though. So let's see if we can get a bit more and they can hit 90. Maybe 95. Maybe we'll get a strong breakout here and trade back up to the figure. All right, well, let's read the order flow here. Here's sellers coming in. Here's our wick. This is, and we didn't make a higher high here. We're getting our sellers here. So likely we're going to trade back down to the lower areas here. Okay, it's already there at 84. Probe it. Maybe you can get to 82. And it's struggling. Now you can see now, let's just go over this. See the wicks? Let me take off the stops and icebergs for a moment too. See the wicks? So there's our move into 82. Okay, the wicks kind of, they're making the structure here, or the candles are making the structure here. So we're looking for the order flow around these areas in here and the probe and to test these areas here. And then we're looking for, well, what's the order flow around it? All right, so we broke it. Now we traded back down into these wicks or these levels down here. And that's as far as we've gone. It was not able to break this area down here. Okay, so we're back up into the middle of this range now. And not much insight at the moment. We're back up to literally the point of control here. So most traded level for the session. And that's where we're hanging out right now. Okay, buyers trying to get back up to these wicks here. So back maybe to 89 if they can. Okay. So anyway, I hope this exercise here, the idea here is to go through candles and start to understand some of the meaning in the order flow here. That then this can be used for your higher time frame analysis as well. And we're looking at it kind of backwards. You know, we're using the lower time frame to define what's in these candles, and then we're looking at these candles on the higher time frame to say, like, well, this is kind of the condition of the order flow within these candles just based on experience. So we'd be looking for the that's why we're looking for this continuation move here. Okay, just by understanding the strong move here, and then, you know, looking at these areas in here, and we're seeing some slowdown. We're seeing some wicks in here on the 15-minute chart, but it's nothing significant at this time. The strong moves to the downside. So we're still looking for continuation to the downside. Now, that's going to be upended if we just see something big in the order flow here. And we'll see that. We'll see that distinction in here. And look at these wicks on both sides, right in the middle, point of control. Boy, you know, this is why we just, you need to see something very distinctive in the volume or in the order book or both to move it away from this area here. And that will happen. We'll see it happen. From the curve, how do I, Elizabeth here, let's see. How do I differentiate between buying and selling taking place? When I refer to buying and selling, I'm talking about the aggressor. Okay, so the dots here. The passive orders are the limit buy and sell orders. Okay, so this is where they want a deal down here, and they're passive because they're waiting, kind of resting in the order book, resting liquidity, and they can't really make the market move. They can just stop the market from moving, right? So they may sell down into high liquidity, and they may just stay there and absorb as all of that selling pressure. Okay, so we're talking about the aggressor, which is typical. That's what everyone's talking about when they talk about volume, basically. All right, here, look at the double bottom test again, and we're now buyers on the other side, so looking for a probe back up to 88 here. 87, I should call it. This is just total range bound. You know, there's not much going on here, guys and ladies. All right, let's see it. Looking for the move back up to 87, maybe 90 here. Here's another retest here. See, buyers up here, no selling here. Buyers here, looking for 87. We're there, looking for 90 here. Let's see if they can get to 90. Now these again are just kind of quick reads and scalps in here. But again, this can be applied to much higher time frames. Okay, well, it got as far as 87. That was it. But it did retest these areas up here. Okay, now sellers, what if sellers come in? They're going to retest this area here, 82 or maybe 80. Here they come. All right, looking for them to retest 82 and 80 here. These are your range bound trades in here. There it is. Nice move to 80. Let's see if we get continuation here. It's a lot of selling, and a lot of selling here, a lot of selling here. Now that's distinctive. So we can get our continuation now, 78 3/4, 77, and we can get our continuation move at this point. It's starting to kind of reveal something in here. We're starting to see who's taking control. What's a stop run? It's when you see a sweep of the order book and it's nothing but stops. And likely that is people getting stopped out of their position. They're, when you place your order, you are usually placing a protective stop to exit the market. And then that's where you're wrong. And there's a lot of traders that kind of place their stops in similar areas. And you can see what's going on in here in these ranges is it's probing, stopping out people on one side, probing the other side, stopping them out on the other side. Yeah, Mr. Krabs, what a difficult trading day. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's been working. I mean, we've been reading it correctly. It's just been very small time frames, and just didn't like some of these moves in here. So that's one way. When you don't have the clarity, just stay away. This looks good for continuation right now, guys. I'm looking for these sellers in here. So I want to see them now continue into 77, and then maybe we can get back down into the lows of the day here, 72. Right? So here's what we had, and we knew it. We talked about it. Selling cluster here. These little swings in here, another selling cluster, and down below here, right? And then here's selling again. Okay, it's not playing out. The buyers are just, they're going to squeeze people right back again. We'll look again though and see if we come back down into this kind of zone in here around 80 to 81. So this is, yeah, we're not getting our continuation right now. In fact, let's take a look at this and let's see if we can even look for an opportunity for the move back into the range. Okay, outside of the range move, rejection. Okay, so it's nice squeeze actually, beautiful squeeze. There's our short squeeze right there, our stop run. Okay, now let's see if we get rejection up here and a move right back down to 85 point of control, or maybe down to this 80 kind of 3 area here, looking for it. And then we're looking for sellers down below 83 for the move back down to 78 and continuation. Yeah, that's correct. MC Loco. Stop run is when price moves to trigger stop loss orders. Typically, I mean, like we just know that in our indicator, we don't know if it's a stop loss. We just know that it was a stop order. All right, so we're still looking for this scenario here. So this was the squeeze back in the range, looking for our sellers here, guys. Now we're looking for the continuation move, 78 down to maybe 72 here. Okay, so that would be lows of the day here. Looking for it, looking for that continuation move now. They probed it up here, and this is what I was saying. You can look for trading it back to point of control and staying with it here for continuation. So I didn't really see an entry point in here for me, at least, for that to happen, except for way down here when I'm looking for that follow through. Right, but anyway, it would be kind of a leap of faith, like placing your order up here, your limit sell, and looking for that continuation move here. I'm still looking for it. Okay, it probed, it hit stops, looking for now the sellers to come in, looking for our move into, there it is. Let's see it. There it is, 78. And then now we're looking for a continuation now. We want to see, like, we had some insight here. Sellers. Again, sellers. Okay, squeeze. More sellers here again. And now let's see if they can sell a bit more here and get the move down to 72. Looking for it here at 79, looking for our sellers. Okay, so and then here's another one too. Now you have to do your studies on this. Your low volume pullbacks in here, and this is one of them. It did it twice in here. We didn't find well, we didn't find too many sellers yet. I'm looking for them though, and then this continuation. The low volume pullback's a little bit of a leap of faith as well, unless you want to get in right here, right when you start to see these sellers come in. It's a leap of faith because we don't know if it might squeeze really high, and you don't get a lot of orders in here. We're looking for exhaustion on the buy side here. So it's more like you're looking, and a lot of times you don't get a retest here on a low volume pullback. It's one and then continuation. It's just one pullback. Here it kind of chopped a bit, and then we get the continuation here. Okay, but you can place. I mean, you'll have to do your studies, and you'll have to look at it and say, like, okay, is it worth it to try to place a limit order in here to catch it, you know, on that low volume pullback. Okay, and looking for that continuation. I'm so bad. After you see a nice stop run like that, would it be logical to place your trail to trail your stop if you are short? Well, I mean, we already kind of knew today, like, you know, we're looking for the continuation down here. One more big push here, and then we got the continuation. So, and we're still looking for it to continue here. And, you know, it may not work. I don't really like trailing my stop. I'm so bad. I kind of loathe it. I always get stopped out. I'd rather just take profit and at my level, and at least I did that right, you know. Now, you know, if you use it on much higher time frame, that's a different way of managing your trade. But yeah, I really I dislike it. I don't want a trailing stop to dictate where I want to place my order. I'll just move it manually down. And I like to move it down to a point where am I wrong? Okay, so like for example, in here, if it stop runs up back up above 82.5 here, well then I got this wrong, right? I'm looking for continuation. I was looking for, here's my low volume pullback. I'm looking for continuation, and then you know, place my stop maybe up about here or so. Okay, because it should work. I'm looking for it to work. If it doesn't work, I got it wrong. And that happens all the time. But you can see, I mean, we're going over all sorts of trading strategies, in fact. Okay, order flow reading, and now we're kind of diving into trading strategies. So, you know, one is range bound strategies we talked about. First one is directional strategy we talked about. And then range bound, and then squeezes. And then we talked about another continuation within the range in here. So, you know, we had this, this unfolded, and then you can trade it back down into, at least back down into, like, you know, 85, or like kind of bottom of the range here, maybe 80. This, where to get in on that is a tough one though. Likely I would be getting in somewhere around in here, which is, a, you know, as you can see, is pretty horrible entry. You know, kind of catching the tiger by the toe would be placing it up above or along with some of this liquidity in here. And, you know, to me it just is scary, because maybe they continue to squeeze. This is some pretty good pretty good buying. Here's another way. Okay, here's another way to looking at it. This is a stop run up into high liquidity. If you can look at it here and look for the selling in here, and there's not a whole lot. It doesn't really give you much. Okay, and then we'd be looking, well, here's the retest. Now look for the selling again in here. Do we get it? A little bit. It's not much. It's not really helping that much. But yeah, we'd be looking for the move back down into 85, and then down to here, top of this range in here, 83, and then bottom of the range here, 80. And then what I'm getting at here on this strategy, and I like it a lot on this setup in here, is the bigger picture. So this was the squeeze, and then you're looking for the continuation after that. Yeah, so you can see, like, we're right back up in here. So it's really struggling to continue here. So yeah, tricky stuff back and forth in here. Again, here's our double bottom pattern in here. You can see selling, some buying. It broke structure. Okay, this is kind of important to note. Selling, not much selling, not too much. Buying up here, comes back down, not much selling, looking for buyers back up here, and then this is where they pushed it. And they got back up above all of this selling here. The squeeze is on, looking for the higher liquidity up here and looking for the move back up into here as well. And also kind of these little areas in here. And we'd be looking for liquidity in there to match. All right, let's see if we see how we're there's kind of a stop run here, and see the buyers here looking for sellers below it. Here they are. Let's see if they can trade back down to 80. No. In fact, kind of a little misread on that. There's kind of a little ledge right here. It's just probing and testing this little area here at 82 basically right now. All right, let's see though. Let's see if we can get enough sellers down here around 82-ish. Then we'll get that continuation. There's look at this up here. Okay, very little buying, and now it's they're starting to buy a bit. Okay, some selling. Yeah, it's kind of junky here. All right, let me get back to YouTube. Questions in here. Guys, if you like this, give us a thumbs up. Give us a like if you can. It's much appreciated, and we're trying to help you out as much as we can in here. Thank you. We also have great website support. Oh, excellent. Yeah, Nick is great. He's in there helping. They're all great. You got Sandra, you have Elena, you have Nick, and you also have Raphael. And boy, like their patience is excellent. And yeah, their support is excellent. Let's look for the break here. Let's see if we can get it here. We're at the bottom of the range here. We've probed up here. Now we've probed the bottom of the range here. I'm still not seeing it, but let's see if we get enough in here at 82.5, and you can see we're not, then we look for the break here. In fact, this is that double bottom yet again, and then buyers here looking for the move back up to 85. Okay, I'm still looking for it to fade 85 though, come back down here. Can't do it. Back to the top of the range. What is an iceberg, Miles? Yeah, just it is it's a hidden order, and it's in the order book. Here, let me demo it here. Okay, and hold on. I got lots of questions in here. Yeah, Jana, you got it. Yeah, it's a hidden order. It's an important thing to understand here. And the stops and icebergs. Now, interesting thing here is like stops and icebergs indicator for MBO for futures in here. Guys, let's see if we can get sellers here. We just got another move to the upside, but I want to see sellers below or right around this 86.5. Same idea as before. Same idea. Back to 85 and then bottom of the range here. Here they come. Okay, see how we want to see selling pressure below this where these buyers came in. All right, looking for them. Let's see it, and let's see them push it down to the bottom of the range here. Look at the candles, nicely lined up here. We have liquidity here. We look for the test to this 85.5. It's got to get through the point of control. And no, can't do it. Can't do it. So, all right, they're starting to pull a little bit here. Let's see if they can. No, I don't like it. Like they're starting to pull here a bit. Yeah, here we go. All right, so they've got it wide open now. Let's see the sellers, and let's see the bottom of the range here. There they go. Okay, back down to about 82. There we go. Beauty. All right, still looking for continuation, looking for 80 again. 80's been an important level, so looking for that. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. It looks like it's Tom B's time to present here. The European close has kind of come and gone. Let me point to like where you can find out more about icebergs. They're hidden. It's liquidity here. It's like liquidity in here, except that you don't see it in the order book. And the stops or the icebergs indicator that we have, it works on market by order data only for CME group futures. And you need to have rhythmic data. No way around it. What you'd also need, well, you need to get the indicator as well. It works with global or global plus. Okay, so you'll see where it starts to transact. And let me demo it here. It's still loading. Here's an iceberg that's still active in the market here. 9 transacted down here around 80, and just one transaction over here, and they're still in here. They still want to be a buyer here, but they're not in the order book. Okay, so that's what it is. And then I can you can look on our knowledge base as well to find out more about it. Okay, Johnny, you're looking at VPOCs and all sorts of other things for market our volume profile. Yeah, some of the things you're mentioning here, that's Tom's way of trading, so he'll be up next. So stay tuned. This will redirect you right to that into that webinar, and Tom will go for the rest of the afternoon. Oh, great, Joe. I'm really glad this is helping out. It sounds like you got Bookmap. Excellent. Yep. Yeah, Tom is a big help for us all in there. Yeah, we do have the minutes, I think, are tomorrow, aren't they? Wednesday. Matt, an iceberg, it's an iceberg order. And that's just how it is. It's an order type. It's like using a limit order, except you're using a hidden order. Yeah, it's the CME offers it, allows it. Guys, we have something else really special for you. I'll show you here. Upcoming streams here, so I'll end here in a few minutes, and then Tom will be next. Okay, and then we have a futures trader here, Carmine Rosado. You guys should come to this. He's great. He's going to talk about his supply and demand levels in here. He's an excellent trader. So yeah, it's a pro trader webinar here. We're not doing a pro trader webinar series. We're actually going to do a crypto webinar series later. All right, so this kid, boy, I don't know how he got his trading experience, but he's like a veteran trader and very, very smart guy. All right, it's going to be great. I love what he does. You guys should take a look at some of his videos out there. Yeah, anyway, you can register for that. You can come to our Discord as well. It's going to be in the events in Discord, but it's broadcast on YouTube as well. Yeah, Carmine's awesome. I mean, very, very concise with his explanations as well. Yeah, thanks, Doug. FOMC meeting minutes are tomorrow. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay, guys, I think we're all set then. Yeah, if you like this, please give us a like and a thumbs up there for this this webinar. It'll segue into Tom's and then come at 4:30 East Coast time after the market closes for Carmine. Okay, should be really nice. All right, we'll see you then. Thanks everybody, and we will catch up with you tomorrow with JTrader and some live trading. Okay, yeah, take care everyone. Bye bye.